All right, welcome back to the Project Management Nation. Excited to have you here. We've been doing a great series on ChatGPT and how to incorporate some of the things from ChatGPT into your project management. I'm going to summarize the top 5 things that you should start doing right now with ChatGPT to make yourself a better project manager. I am also going to talk about the one thing that you probably should not do. So let's get to it. Okay, ChatGPT, you've heard about it in the news. It seems to be all over the place. We've been exploring it in the channel. What are the 5 things that you can use ChatGPT to do? Number 1, it's a great engine for communication. In fact, the whole reason why the word chat is in there is because it's been designed to help with natural communication style. So the number 1 thing that you should start to use ChatGPT for is to write draft communications. You can write communications to stakeholders. We looked at some of the capabilities of ChatGPT in writing a message to stakeholders when there's something negative to talk about. You can also use it to write project updates. It has a very powerful natural language engine built inside of it. You can also use it to write messages in other languages. I don't have a way to verify how accurate it is in translation, but I suspect it's pretty good. So if you have dual or multiple language situations, consider using ChatGPT to help you with that. Second, use it to flesh out your scope. And what I mean by that is if you're looking at a project and you've got, say, 20 different things that you're looking at, put those 20 things into ChatGPT and say, hey, what else should I think about? When I did that in our test scenarios, I had 5 things, and it came up with a list of many more things that I should be considering related to opening an office in an international space. That's actually a pretty cool thing. You can use it. I think that actually helps you to reduce risk. So that actually brings us now to a third use of ChatGPT, and that is to find additional risks. So you may remember that in our scenarios that we ran previously, we used it to actually write a complete risk table, and including mitigation plans. Now, when I first started using ChatGPT to create those risk tables, it didn't include all of the columns that I wanted. That's a very easy fix. Within the ChatGPT command line, you say, please add a column with mitigations. And you know what? It will recalculate and it will add what you're asking for. So you can use it to add or reduce the information that it gives you so you get just the right things. Now, I don't recommend taking that risk table and using it just as it's written, but using it as a starting place, absolutely. It's a great place to start. Number 4, use it to calculate critical path of your project schedule. We did that with a simple project plan. We gave it 5 tasks with dates, and it was able to very accurately calculate, hey, these are the critical path items. These are the ones that cannot be changed. These are the things that you should pay most attention to. Very helpful. I know it will do it for larger body sets of data, so use it to calculate your critical path. Finally, the 5th thing that you should use it for is to help you create project slide presentations. If you've got to create a stakeholder deck, if you've got to create some kind of a project charter, some kind of a deck that you want to share with people, it's not going to actually create the slides. You're not going to end up with a PPT file out of it. But it will list out, hey, slide 1 should be an introduction, slide 2 should have this, slide 3 should have that, and it will give descriptions of the type of content that should be on there. If you don't have an existing type of template that you use, this is a really strong way to start. Again, don't use it without thinking about it. Don't just dump the contents and go from there. You need to use your critical thinking, but it's a good place to get you started. And it may surface things that you did not think about that you should add to your slide deck. Number 6, this is a bonus one. Just use it for advice and guidance and general questions. In one of our demo videos, I asked it the question, is this a good rate related to an IT charge for a fake budget that we were looking at. And it was able to spit out some rate ranges that were good. So you can use it as a sounding board, as a second, as a consultation for things. So is it a good rate? How should I best communicate bad news? What are the key artifacts of a project? Use it as you would a knowledgeable colleague. Don't use it blindly, but use it as a way to find a second opinion. Now, what I can't recommend it for, which really surprises me, is for budgeting. Now, for basic numbers and basic arithmetic, it seemed to do just fine. But I gave it a kind of a word problem where I gave it a rate and the number of hours and things like that. It didn't calculate that correctly. And it didn't calculate that correctly multiple times. So I cannot advise using it for budgeting for your project unless you're willing to double check the math that's going on. So again, ChatGPT I'm finding to be an amazing tool. Use it for communication and as a sounding board. You can use iterations. You can ask it to change things. It remembers the conversation. And if you don't like what it said the first time, you can actually hit regenerate response for a change of answers. And that's a great way to get kind of a second look and a second take on the question that you're asking. So ChatGPT for projects, yes, it's a tool. It's fantastic. I think we're going to find ways in the future to use it even more powerfully. For now, here's the top tips that I have for using ChatGPT in your projects. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed it. All right, I hope that you enjoyed the content of that video and that it was useful for you. Please like and subscribe. Also, please put in the comments any comments you have, any thoughts, expand the ideas that I presented. Also, if you've got ideas for other videos, please let me know. Right now, I'm going to take a second to do a shameless plug. A couple of years ago, I wrote a book. I was fortunate enough to have it picked up by a publisher. It's called The MBA Distilled for Project and Program Professionals. And it talks about the experience that I had getting my MBA while being a project and program manager. It covers all of the core MBA courses from corporate strategy to finance, accounting, economics, and it takes the learnings from the MBA program and applies it to our profession. I really enjoyed writing the book. I think there's a lot of great skills that we can apply to our profession in it. My favorite chapter, though, is the very last chapter. And if you are a project or program professional and you're thinking about getting your MBA, you're going to want to read that chapter. It will help you to decide. I believe in the power of the MBA and that it can be a real career booster, but not for everybody. And I talk through all of my logic as to why. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video.